My name is Katsumi Matsunuga. I'm a student of the 9th grade, Class 3 in 1983. When I finish recording this, I plan to hide somewhere in the classroom. If you're listening to this tape, you're most likely in Class 3 as well. I wonder what the likelihood of that is. It's possible that you guys are also terrified by a senseless disaster never mind. I have two reasons for leaving this tape. One is to confess a sin, my sin. I want to tell someone what I did. I need someone to listen. The other is to give you some advice. It's about the extra student who gets mixed up in the class, and the calamity that happens as a result. How it can be stopped. In other words, I should just start at the beginning. Our class went on a trip. We left on August 8th for 3 days and 2 nights. Our homeroom teacher, Mr. Koga, had suggested we visit the local shrine. There's an old shrine in this town called the Yoriyama Shrine. He said that he was sure that if we prayed there, the curse would be lifted. There were 22 students in all, myself included. We only half believed him. On the second day, we climbed the mountain to visit the shrine. It was so old and run down, like it had been abandoned by the world. Even though it bears the name of the city, it looked like it had been maintained at all. So we decided to clean up the grounds while we were there. At the time, we hoped maybe this would lift the curse. After we prayed, our teacher had confidently declared, everything will be all right now, but it wasn't. It wasn't that easy. As soon as we left the shrine, the clear sky suddenly turned overcast. It began to rain, complete with lightning strikes. As we turned down the mountain, the first victim was a boy named Hamaguchi. He was kind of dumb. He was the only one that brought an umbrella. And we were on a mountain in a lightning storm. He was walking right in front of me when, for a second, my vision went white. I heard a huge crash. Hamaguchi had been struck by lightning. I still remember the smell of flesh burning. Anyway, the students panicked and bolted, leaving Hamaguchi behind, desperate to get off the mountain as quickly as possible. But moments after we all got off, blindly running through the rain, the second victim was taken, a girl named Hashikawa. In her panic, she slipped and fell down a sheer cliff. All we could do was call for help for the mountain. But in the end, we couldn't save either of them. Praying at the shrine had no effect whatsoever. Now this is the important part. Right after we reached the bottom of the mountain, that's when it happened. And by it, I mean... it happened in the forest. Outside the lodge. I got into an argument with a guy named... We ended up trading blows. And then next thing I knew, he wasn't moving. He was lying under a huge tree. Then I looked over. I saw that he had been impaled on a branch, and he was dead. Terrified, I ran back to the room at the lodge. It had been decided that we'd be staying an extra night. The police came to see us about the lightning and the fall. They asked me a lot of questions, but I couldn't tell them anything about. I hardly slept at all that night. I was sure someone would find the body, and then everyone would freak. But in the morning, there were no signs of that happening. So I went back to the forest to find it myself. It wasn't there. It had vanished without a trace. I was so bewildered. I asked the others what happened to it, but they all just looked at me like I was crazy. Who's that? I don't know anyone by that name. They even said there were 19 students at the top, not 20. Then it dawned on me. The guy I killed must have been the extra student all along. I know without a doubt that I killed. Nothing will change that fact. That's why I decided to come clean here. This is my confession. It has been 2 weeks since the trip. And only I, the sole person deeply involved in his death, still remember. But I get the feeling it's only a matter of time. That's why, when my memory is still clear, I want to tell you the truth about how to stop the calamity. Are you listening? Send them back where they belong. Send the dead back to death. And that's how to stop the calamity once it's begun.